Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Marlon. All right, so we're looking at the sine and the cosine rule. I would have given you that formula before.
Miss class kept Thursday, miss.
Were you at class Thursday?
No, miss.
Why?
Miss?
Why weren't you at class?
Miss, I was at the class, miss. I wasn't at home.
Okay, Marlon. So let's just go back to the rule. So we use a sine rule when we have two sides and not an included angle. And when we have two angles and any side. So that's when we use a sine rule. The cosine rule now, we use it when we have two sides and the included angle, or when we have all three sides. So take a screenshot for me.
Yes, miss. Let's look at the screenshot. Class screenshot, miss.
All right, so we're going to determine which of the rule we're going to use for our first question. So it says, in the triangle ABC, the length of AC is 15 centimeters, right? And angle ABC equal 112 degrees, angle BAC equal 33 degrees. Work out the length of BC. Which of the rule would we use? Sine rule or cosine rule? Before thinking about sine rule and cosine rule, right? Could we use Pythagoras theorem or could we use trig ratio?
Trig.
Could we use trig ratio for this?
Trig, miss.
Okay, so you're saying that we could use trig ratio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so remember now that trig ratio and Pythagoras theorem are only used with right angle triangles. All right, so looking at this one, it's not a right angle triangle. So the only time we can consider trig ratio and Pythagoras theorem is when we're thinking about right angle triangle. If it's not a right angle triangle, then we can't use trig ratio and we can't use Pythagoras theorem. Right?
Yes, miss.
All right. All right, so we're gonna continue with the question. Which one should we use?
Cosine.
Why cosine rule?
Because it have an angle.
But sine rule also states that you can have an angle. But where is the angle? What does cosine rule say about the angle? It must be what?
Included.
Included. Is this are these how many angles do we have here?
2.
2. So from we have two angles, then we know that it's not cosine rule. right? Because cosine rule says you have two sides and the included angle, or you have all three sides. All right, so that's what cosine rule says. So from we see that it has two angles and a side. Oh, that's sine rule. So we're just going to write down the sine rule, and we don't need to make it complicated. We just need to know one of the rule. All right, so we're going to write down the cosine rule, and it is
Miss, so which one are you using, Miss?
all right. You
Cosine?
tell me, Marlon, which one are we using? Look at your
Two
rules.
side. Yeah.
Look at your rules. Look at the screenshot that you just did.
Yes, Miss.
Which one are we using, honey?
Cosine, Miss.
Why cosine?
Because it says two side and the included angle.
Do we have two sides on this triangle?
No, Miss.
Okay. So what are we using?
Two angles. Yeah. Oh, sin, Miss. Two angles on any side.
Two angles on any side. So we're using sine rule. All right. So A. So the sine rule says A over sine A equals B over sine B. Equals C over sine C. However, we're only going to be finding one side where we're asked to find the length of BC right here, right? So we can put the X there. So that's what we're asked to find. So given that that's what we're finding, right? We don't need to write out equal C over sine C. We just need 2. So right, so we just need A over sine A equal B over sine B. So what we're going to go ahead and do is to match our sides first. So we need to know which angle matches with which side. So the sides matches with the opposite angles, or the angles matches with the opposite side. So this angle here, angle A, is pointing to that side, right? This angle here, angle B, is pointing to that side. And this angle here, angle C, is pointing to that side. All right? So we see how they matches.
Yes, Miss.
All right. So what we're going to do now is that we must have a pair that matches, that we know both the angle and the side. We must have that to start off with. We know the angle and we know the side. And then now the next one, we either know the angle and we'll find in the side, or we know the side and we'll find in the angle. So let's look at the first one here. A. We know the angle, which is
33 degrees.
33 degrees. So we know the angle, and do we know the side?
Yes, Miss. Yes,
The side
Miss.
is X. So
Yes,
the
Miss.
common letters represents sides. So we're gonna have X over sine 33. So common letters represent sides, capital letters represents angle. Equal, let's look at B now. Do we know what side B is?
Yes, Miss.
What is it?
So we know the angle. Is it? No, no.
B.
15 centimeter.
And sine what?
112 degrees.
112 degrees. As long as you have this, most of the work is finished. All you got to do is to make sure your calculation from here is correct. That's it, right? Just to make
So
sure
I
that
have
your
to know.
calculation, yes?
So I have to know, put in a calculator.
We're going to rewrite it first.
Okay, miss.
We're going to rewrite it first. So we're trying to find x. Anyone knows how we move from here?
We say cross multiply.
Good. Cross multiply. So now we have x times sine 12. So write it x sine 112, I mean. Sine 112 degrees equal
15 sine 33 degrees.
15 sine 33 degrees. Let's make x the subject.
Let's divide sin 112 degrees.
Divide through by sin 112 degrees. So therefore x equal
15 sin 33 degrees divided by sin.
All right, so let's put that in our
100.
calculator and work it out.
So I got 8.7 8.730 degrees. It's 8.730 degrees. It's your boy.
Eight point how much, Marlon?
Yes, I got 8.730.
8.73, round it to 2. We can round it to 1 decimal place. Anybody else got 8.73?
So I got 8.81.
Did you do any rounding off, Marlon?
I just type in.
Just type in 15 sine 33 divided by sine 112.
Yes, miss. Sine. Uh, yes, miss. That's what I got.
Only two
107.
persons check.
8.2.
Only two persons check this answer. What happened to the other persons? Please check the answers. I need to hear from you or you type in the chat.
Miss, when I write it in as um when I put the division side instead of putting it as a fraction like we have it here in the calculator, I get 8.73 as that Marlon gets. But when I put it as a fraction, I get 8.81.
Oh, okay, I understand the difference now. All right, so we're gonna work with the 8.81. I round it up to 8.8. All right, and Marlon was saying something about degrees. All right, so remember, Marlon, we're finding the value of x, the length of BC,
Oh,
so that's the side that we're finding. All
I
right,
thought it was an angle. So,
all right.
really, angle supposed to be.
All right, so give you a minute and then we'll move on to the next question.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead and complete this one for me. 4 minutes. Look at it, determine the rule that you're going to use, and then you go ahead and do that. All right, can I have the answers now? Which of the rule did you use to start with?
Yes, I use the cosine.
Okay, and why did you use the cosine?
Um, because it says two side and the included angle.
All right, so two sides and included angle. All right, good. So let's write down the cosine rule. The cosine rule.
It's a square equal b square plus c square minus 2bc.
Oh, but we're finding area. Oh my Lord, I didn't even look at this, you know. Just see that they asked us for the area of the triangle. Oops. Going to the area, man. All right, tell you what. What did you work out?
Just work out my formula.
All right, say we're finding this side.
Yes, miss.
So we're finding AC. All right, so the formula is a square. We're not doing the area. So we're finding AC. So the formula is a square. What the formula?
Yes. A square equal b square
A square equals b square
plus C
plus c
plus c
square
square
minus 2bc.
2bc cos A.
C, yeah. Cos A, sorry. Or, yeah.
All right, so for a square is going to be the side, whatever side that is that corresponds to the angle that we have. We only have one angle, that's 60 degrees. So that's the side that corresponds to that angle. All right. In other words, we normally know what B is and what C is. And whatever A is either we know A, the side, and we're trying to find the angle, or we know the angle and we're trying to find the side. So that's what goes here and here. So let me highlight that again. For the A square and A, it's very important what we put there. What we put at A square and A is either the the pair, the angle that corresponds with the side that we're finding, or the side that corresponds with the angle that we're finding. So for this one here, is either this going to be what we're finding, or this is what we're finding. All right, so they must be the matching pair that goes there, and then the other sides go in between. Other sides go there. All right, so that's what we do. Everybody understand that much so far?
Until miss.
yes, miss.
All right, so we're gonna go. So our matching here is 60 degrees, and the side that we're finding is AC, which is X as we have it there. So we have X squared equal, what is B squared? What is B?
So,
We don't necessarily need to look on the labeling. B and C is any of the other two sides. Any of the other two sides. So remember that common letters are sides. So it doesn't matter which one you call B, which one you call C. Tell me what is the value of B?
7.
Six.
7 square.
Good. What's the value of C?
6 square.
All right. So the most important thing is to figure out the side the side and the angle. One or the other you would be finding, and then the B and the C would fall in. Minus 2B, which is 7, C, which is 6. Cos A. What's the value of angle A? Hmm?
Um, 60.
60 degrees. So again, the angle here and the side here must match. They must be the pair. All right. Let's go ahead and simplify this and find the value of x squared. What is 7 squared plus 6 squared?
Yes, 85.
Minus, what is 2 times 7 times 6 cos 60?
84, miss. Negative 84. Yeah, just, yeah, minus 84.
All right, other persons, I'm expecting you to participate just the same. It shouldn't be that you're looking and writing off, but you should be working so that when you get stuck, you understand how to move forward. All right, so if you're just looking on the screen and writing off, that is not helping you. It's not look right, though, Marlon. 2 times 7 times 6. Oh, you don't put in the cost part as yet. Work out the entire thing and give me. So 84 cos 60 is what?
Miss, so could you just like say 85 minus 84 and then put in cos
We
60?
can do minus before the multiplication.
Oh, yeah.
We have to follow the
Minus 84.
Bodman's procedure. So we got to do
Cos.
the 84 cos 60 because that is 84 times cos 60.
Negative 42.
Negative
42.
42. 60 is, All right, so x squared equals 43. What's the value of x? How do I find the value of x now?
Square root.
So I square root both sides. So x equals
Let's make it 0.914.
Can't be 0.9. Because the square of 36 is 6. So the square root of 43 can't be 0.9. It has to be
Sorry,
6 point something.
Well, no. Come on.
Huh?
Oh, I put in the wrong. I was pushing the wrong button. I got 6.55. 6.6.
Okay.
20.
Miss,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if I go back, but me not see which part. Where you get the 42 from? Cause me I try check it. Me check it wrong, but me not get that.
All right. 2 times 7 times 6 cos 60. All of that. What are you
Like one
getting?
time is.
Yeah, 1 time.
Okay.
You could have done the 2 times 7 times 6 and gotten 84, and then you say 84 times cos 60. But you can do it 1 time.
Okay, miss.
Mm-hmm. Do you get the 42 now? Do you get the 42 now, Tyrese?
Yes, ma'am. So tell me something is what the 85 disappear to? Cause me did a look down in the book I try to figure out, so I never see what happened.
85 minus 42.
Right.
Okay. All right, so that's it for the side. However, we're going to answer this question that asks us to calculate the area of the triangle. All right, so this is going to be a new question. So I'm going to erase what we have on screen and we're going to answer this question that asks us to calculate the area of a triangle. So normally you're accustomed to using what says it now? Half base times height. So that's when you have a right angle triangle. So this is not a right angle triangle. So we're going to find the area of this triangle. Does anyone know the formula to use?
Go
Go again.
Miss, I didn't hear what you said, Miss. My internet time went on time out or whatever.
Does anyone know the formula to use
For the triangle.
when finding the
Half
area?
base and height, Miss.
All right, so we can't use half base times height because this is not a right angle triangle. We don't have a right angle to use half base times height. All right, so we don't know the height. We don't know the height, we don't know the base. Because the base and the height meets at 90 degrees, meets at right angle. So when we don't know the base and we don't know the height, then we can't use half base times height. Anybody know the formula?
No.
All right, so the formula is half AB sine C. So to find the area of this triangle, to find the area, so you can write this down in your book. To find the area of a non-right angle triangle, we use this formula. So area would equal to half AB sine C. So the A and the B would be two sides, and the C now, right? The C now would have been the angle, all right? So it will be half AB sine C.
Okay.
So it's going to be half. What's the value of A? What's the sign?
Times 6 times 7.
Times 6 times 7. Sine. Sine what?
60.
Sine 60. What's the answer?
So then this is 3.
Go again.
7. C. No. So 21.
I would love to hear from other persons that are here. Just don't want you to
It's
be in the
18
class
times
pause writing.
18.2.
Yes, Darius. 18, yes,
Oh,
Marlon.
18.2, miss.
18.2 centimeters square. All right. All right, good. So we're going to scroll down. So for the other questions, as we go along, we just find the area of the triangle, just cement this. So when finding the area of the triangle, we need two sides and an angle. All right. All right, so for this one, what are we going to use for this question?
Again, miss?
For this one, I want you to look at it and tell me what we're going to use to calculate the angle ABC. Which angle are they referring to? They say ABC. How do I know which of the angle? Are they talking about A, B, or C?
A, miss, because I hit the measure the degree from us.
Oh, but that we already know A. So they could have just be telling us to ask us for A because we already know that A is 60.
Yes, miss.
All right. So it's not A. So which one? Looking at this, how do we know which angle they're referring to? A, B, C. So to determine the angle, we look at one specific thing. So if they had said CAB, then we know that it's angle A. If they had said BAC, we know that they're referring to angle A. If they had said CBA, we know that they want us to find angle B. If they had said...
So that means that them are actually if find angle B, right?
Angle B. How do you know?
Miss?
How do you know?
Middle.
Yes, so the letter in the middle. So sometimes they will ask you, they will put the letter, they would say, oh, find angle B, but other times they would put it like this, and you know that it's the letter in the middle, that's the angle we're finding. So this is the angle that we're trying to find it.
Okay, miss.
All right, so angle B. So the next thing that we're going to do now is to determine our rule. Which rule we're going to use? Can I use Pythagoras theorem?
Cosine.
Can I use trig ratio?
No, miss. This is not a right angle.
All right, good. So why do we use cosine rule?
Because this is It's two side and the included angle.
Sides and included angle. Is the angle given included between the two sides? The angle that we have, does it fall in between the two sides? Does this two side make a sandwich with the angle? Do we see them on both sides? Does the two,
Ish.
do we see them? So if it's,
No, miss.
yes,
No, it doesn't make a sandwich.
no, it doesn't. So can we use cosine rule? The two sides and included angle would have been this. There the angle is in between the middle, in the middle,
Sandwich.
and the sides there. All right. So this is not two sides and included angle. So what should we use for this one? Which rule should we use? The other persons that are here gave you the rule. You weren't here when I showed the rule. There goes the rule again. Take a screenshot.
Miss, I don't know what this one go, baby.
Why?
That isn't it cosine?
Why cosine? Tell me why cosine.
That's what you
Miss.
say. It doesn't make a sandwich.
Yeah?
Miss,
Yes.
would it be tan because they identified the adjacent and the opposite?
All right, so let's backtrack now. When it comes down to tan, sine, and cos, tan, sin, and cos, right?
Mhm.
Those are trig ratio. We cannot use those any at all because this is not a right angle triangle.
Oh, okay, miss.
So that's the first thing you can rule out. Can't be tan, it can't be cos, it can't be sin. Sine and cosine rules are different from trig ratios. So you do find cos and sine in trig ratios, but it's different from what we're doing with sine and cosine rule.
Oh, okay.
So look at the two rules. You have two sides, and is the angle in between the two sides or not between the two sides? That's just the part you need to answer.
Not between, miss.
So which rule do you use?
Still, miss.
Right, sine rule.
Sine.
See? So see right here, two sides and not included angle. See it?
Yes, miss.
All right, good. So we're gonna go ahead and write down our sine rule. A over sine A equal B over sine B. Remember to highlight the angle that you're finding, which is this one. Go ahead and work it out for me. Let me see what you do.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving you permission to annotate. So you can write on screen. All right, so I would like to see someone start writing on screen. Still waiting. Please note that I will not be doing this question. So the longer we wait, the longer it takes us to move to the next question. And I need to see other persons participating. You don't necessarily need to know how to solve it completely. Just do what you can do, the start off where you can start, and we'll work our way through. Peter, Ejana, Ejani, Tamara, Marlon, Tyrese. I've been waiting more than 7 minutes now. Start where you can start. It's not just a one-man thing, it's teamwork. Another minute went by. So that's another extra 3 minutes went by. So should we just end class here then, given that no one is participating? And if I am on mute, oh no, I'm not.
It's
Huh?
clueless this man.
Oh, clueless. Tell me the first thing you would do.
Um, first thing,
Match the side that the angle that you're trying to find with its side. And then match the next angle that you have with the corresponding side.
that's it.
Do it on screen, Marlon.
Right? So not saying
Do it on screen.
like much with business.
Uh-huh.
So
And match the angle that you're trying to find with its corresponding side. Okay. So go ahead and fill in that into your formula. Okay, good. The cross multiplication. All right, so this is where it's important now. Go ahead, Marla. Let me see what you do. Go ahead. So we can't just divide through by sine 18 sine because sine x is a package, right? So we can divide through by 18 because it's 18 times sine x. So sine x is a package, right? So if we're going to break them apart, the factors there would be 18 and sine x. So we can divide through by the factor 18. So divide both sides by 18. All right. What are we left with now on the left-hand side?
The sin x.
Hold on, Marlon. Let me see if I can make this what you've done so far smaller. So you're left with sine x. So write down your sine x.
Just give me a second, please.
All right, so somebody is to continue writing while Marlon is away. Someone else writes. Someone else, right? Okay, thank you. Work that part out, Peter. So don't write it back as it is. Work it out for me. What is 20? Sine cos 18. So work it out and write in the answer. So 20 sine cos 60. 20 sine 60. I don't know where I got cos from. So 20 sine 60 divided by 18. What is that? Anyone else got negative 0.33? Anyone else got negative 0.33?
No, miss.
What did you get?
Miss, miss, I mean that miss, whenever like is they cancel the 18 and the 18 and then link back with sin X, miss, whenever do it that way.
Okay, so what did you do?
Um, Miss, alright, but the way I did, miss, me get 60 sin and 20 degrees, and then me divide it by sin 18 degrees.
Oh, it has to be 20 sine 60. Still waiting for confirmation of the answer. What happened to the calculators? Next week is next week exam. So if everyone is behaving like this, where you gonna do in an
So I
exam?
got one. So I got 0.96.
So one person got negative 0.33, one got 0.96. So the other persons need to be checking the answers.
Miss, should I use the inverse function or?
We're not ready for the inverse part yet. We're going to use it after.
Okay.
Destiny, what did you get? Tamara, what did you get?
0.96.
All right, Peter, go ahead and correct that. 0.96.
Miss, Miss, when I calculate it, before miss, I like, there's a bracket, miss, before the 60, miss, then I put a next bracket, after the 60, then I got 1.12 or something like that. And when I take off the
What I
bracket, I got
want,
back.
what I want you to do is to put 20 sine 60 in one bracket, then divide by 18. So that's one thing. So put the entire numerator in a bracket.
Mm. So I got 0.96.
All right, now we're going to do the inverse. So we're going to write x equal sine inverse So technically we're dividing by sine. So it's a sine inverse, right? 0.96. So when we're finding angle, it's the inverse that we use. What's the answer? So on your calculator, you're supposed to be pressing shift sine 0.96. That's how you get the sine inverse. If it was cos inverse, shift cos, that's how you get the cos inverse. So when you won't see shift on your calculator, you'll see second. You press that.
Miss, when I do that, I get 73.73.
Okay, 73.73. 73.7 degrees. Can anyone confirm the answer?
Yes, miss. Second confirm.
All right, good.
Yes, miss. 72. Yeah.
Scrolling down in a minute. Let's go with number 11. First thing first, I'm not doing the question. All right, so just as you did before, where everyone came, well, I think about 3 or 4 persons gave an input. So yes, expecting more persons to give their input. So you're gonna come together and complete the question. You're going to have the discussion, why you're going to use whichever rule that you're going to use, why you wouldn't use it, or why you're supposed to use it. If you're going to use sine rule, why is it sine rule and not cosine rule? If you're going to use cosine rule, why is it cosine rule and not sine rule? I need to hear that discussion. So whoever gives the first response, I need persons to be asking, you need to be communicating with one another now to see why you're doing what you're doing. All right, the class is for you to understand. All right, not for me son to just be teaching, but for you to understand the concept. So let's go. So you're testing yourself to see what you understand thus far. Conversation needs to start now. So the first thing you need to be saying is which rule you're going to be using.
So you're gonna use cosine.
Why cosine?
Yes, because it says all three sides only.
Is there any way possible for us to use sine?
No, miss, because there no, miss, you cannot use sine.
All right, good. So go ahead and write down the cosine.
Miss, I cannot write, miss, I only can talk because my hand is dirty.
All right, so someone else needs to write. I'm still waiting to see the cosine rule be written on the screen. So Marlon is unable to write. Okay. Go ahead, Marlon. We can't have two equal sign in one equation.
Miss, I cannot erase. Mhm.
And waiting to see the other bits being filled in. Taking too long to do one question. All right. I'm not seeing an attempt. I'm not hearing anything from anyone. So please tell Ms. Hunter if she's supposed to end class here, given that you're not participating. Where do we go from here? What do we do from here?
You're going to add in the coefficients numbers like transcribe the formula. Yes.
We're going to
Rewrite the formulas like instead of writing the b squared plus c squared, we're going to put actually the actual numbers. Transcribe.
okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And for cos A, right? There needs to be something special about A and A square. A needs to be the angle that you're finding, and that needs to matches with the side. So which angle are we finding here?
It's A.
Z.
No. Look at
Z,
the
miss.
question. Okay, highlight that on the triangle for me. Highlight the angle, the side that is opposite to that angle. what do we do from here?
This going to really all of this. This we're going to put alright, that goes 17. So this is we're going to put that at b miss b square miss.
That will put it at b square because it must go where a is, right?
Okay.
So the angle and the angle that you're finding must match with the side that is that we're subtracting out there. So remember that I told you earlier when we did the previous question that the angle, if we're finding the angle, then the side must be A. So we're finding angle Z. So the side must be that side Z, which is 17 centimeters. So let's just fill in what we know. Cos, do we know what the angle A is? Do we know what the angle is?
17.
The angle. No. So we're going to write back cos A equal.
B cos A equals B square.
So somebody needs to be writing. What is B and what's C?
70.
All right, so let me go again, right? The angle that we're finding is Z, right? So that would be our A here. In other words, let me put A and put in Z.
Okay.
Right?
So
and that means that the angle here is Z. The side here is Z.
yes. That means y is b square and x is c square.
Good, that's fine. All right, so go ahead and write in those now. No, put in the value for y. Put in the value. Put in the values. So put what y is and what x is.
Y I put back the b square. So like that.
No, put in the value. What is the value of side y?
It's 20.
So write that down for me.
20 plus.
What is side y?
Oh my.
It doesn't matter, but because you were writing y at first, I want you to use the correct, to know the correct side.
Yes, yes,
So what is side y?
20 squares are 20
What is the length of y?
is 20.
So here angle y. What is the side that corresponds with angle y?
Side.
What is the side that is opposite to that angle?
Is the 22
Yes, that is side y.
So take out the 20 and put 22.
22. It doesn't make a difference, but because you had y before, I want to make sure that you're able to identify which side is y. So 22 square.
And now x will be 20 square. And 20 square.
Is it
Oh,
another
no.
plus?
No, it's minus 17 square. Oops. Yes, miss, and the two BC will be about the same numbers at the top.
Yes.
Okay. Over 2. Miss, you're going to put a parentheses, right?
Gonna put?
A parentheses.
Yes.
2 22. Miss, like I never see any mathematical symbol. Does it mean that it means multiplication is when there's a blank?
Right, right. You could have put parentheses again.
I know, miss, but it was
Okay.
see 20. Why? This keep happening. Times 20. And now we calculate up the goods. Cos A. Okay.
So what kind of organization is this and where kind of
You're gonna put 22 square plus 20 square minus 70 square divided divided by 2 parentheses,
No, you're not supposed to sing on the song.
22
Times
times 20
Yeah, the way I go over there.
Miss, this answer is kind of
We have 22 square plus 20 square. What did you get for those two? So you can put in your calculator 22 square plus 20 square minus 17 square.
Miss 595.
Okay, so you're gonna put divide by. You can put it in parentheses. 2 times 22 times 20 close parentheses. You can open the parentheses and then close it after.
2 times 22 times Miss 132,900. Hi, 30,900.
Anyone
Miss-
else got that?
Miss, this is kind of too big. Miss.
Anyone else got that? Dejana, Marlon, Johnny.
So everybody wants to see. Yeah.
Anyone else got what what Peter just got? Marlon, what did you get when you put this in the calculator? Marlon?
Yes, Mr. Calculating this. Mr. My hand was with Mr. I was just listening.
All right, what did you get when you worked this out? Dejana?
Yes, so much
Johnny?
Peter got me.
How much you get, Peter?
Miss, I got 130,900. That's too big of a
130 points.
130,900.
Mr. got negative 42. I mean negative 62,696.
Put in your calculator for me. 22 square. plus 20 square
22 square plus 20 square. Yes, miss.
minus 17 square
Minus 17.
mm-hmm,
17 square. Yes, miss.
equal, tell me what you get when you do that.
Miss, I got 595.
Divide now, divide,
Divided.
open bracket,
Yes, miss.
2 times 22 times 20, close bracket.
2 times 22 times 20. Close bracket. Miss, I got 0.676.
Okay. All right. Now we need to find the value of A. So we're going to have A equal, what is A equal to?
It's 0.668.
So tell me how I work out A. So I have cos A equals
Okay.
0.676. So I'm going to have A equal, carry over the cos,
A
we now have
equals
A,
0.676 divided by cos.
okay, but this is how we're going to have it. When we carry over the cos, it's not going to be divided by cos, but it's going to be cos inverse. So it's
Of
cos
cos
inverse
inverse.
0.676. So when you think of dividing through by cos, just remember it's going to be cos inverse.
Yes, miss. Alright, so that's cos inverse. Miss, I got 47, 47.46. 47.46, miss.
47.5 degrees. All right, so we're going to go to the last question.
Missed that one.
All Let's go with this one. I give you another simple one. Which of these angles would have been the smallest?
Miss, then, alright, Miss, I'm gonna work through the next sections before I ask.
Hmm? Can we just look at this and tell what the smallest angle is?
Miss A.
They're not drawn to scale. So we can't. So what we're gonna have to do is that we're gonna have to find two of the angles using the sine or cosine rule. And then we can find the third angle, and then from that we'll know what the smallest one is. Which rule can I use to find any of these angles?
Cosine.
Cosine. So you're gonna determine which one you're gonna find first, whether it's A, B, C, A or B or C. So that's A, C, B. All right, so we're gonna find whichever one you're finding first. Remember the rule for cosine, the angle that you're finding matches with the side. All right, so you're gonna go ahead and write down your rule. So someone is writing. Still waiting to see that go on the screen. Still haven't seen anything on screen.
Okay, so I'm going to write the question.
So it's the same approach as we did with the previous question.
Yes, miss.
Come on, let's offer that B and that C. Common letter. Common letters. Thank you, Peter. Go ahead and substitute the values now, and I'm looking to see what you do. All right. Let's continue. Okay, go on, Peter. All right, looking good so far, Peter. All right, continue working for me, Peter.
Yes, miss, I'm calculating the final price.
Anyone else got 1.52? Believe you should be getting 0 point something.
Yes, I do use the inverse. Miss, I did use the inverse part.
Not yet, but you should be getting 0 point something. I believe.
Miss, I'm not hearing you.
What is 17 square plus 9 square?
17 square plus 9 square. 17 square.
Miss, when I did it, I got 0.656.
All right, that's more like it. You should be getting 0 point
370.
something.
Miss, man, why
Alright.
my answer? Miss, why my answer different from everybody else? Miss?
So 17 square plus 9 square. That's the first thing you do.
That equals 370.
Minus 13 square.
Wait. Maybe I just remember doing something. Can Miss me have a different digit?
Huh?
Man, it might give problem, Miss. I'm gonna end up at a different digit. There is not one thing here. Verse 2 9 square minus 30 square, which is 201. All right, 201. Leave that aside.
The top part now.
Repeat, Miss.
You have the numerator now.
Yes, Miss. 201.
You get for the answer.
All right.
What do you get for the answer? 17 square plus 9 square minus 13 square.
Yes, Miss. That's 201.
Okay, divide the y. Divide
By 2.
by you can do open bracket and then 2 times 17 times 9 close bracket.
17 times 9 close bracket. This man says a bit weird. This
What do you see?
weird answer is.
It should be 0 point something.
Miss, this digit gone all the way past 100,000 and whatever. Miss is a phone calculator. Miss.
So where's your other calculator?
Miss, Miss is not here yet. This present.
Marlon, what did you get?
Miss, I got 15,376.5.
You got what?
I got 15,376.5.
Same thing. Same thing that mine get and 32. Mine is not phone calculator using.
Eh?
It's not phone calculator using too.
I use phone calculator.
Oh, never mind.
Mr. Ado. Yeah.
17 square plus 9 square. Oh. Equal 370 minus what's the next square? 13 square which gives us 201. Divide by bracket 2 times 17 times the next number 9. Close bracket equal 0.568. We're going to use 0.6568. We're going to use 0.657. See that? So what we had previously, we lost that information that we had on screen. So we were at the stage where we had cos A equal 0.658. Cos A equal 0.658. So therefore, A equal cos inverse 0.658. Therefore, A equal, can we put that into the calculator?
Miss, I got 48.8.
48.8, so we go
Yeah,
second.
48.85. We'd round off to 48.9.
Second cos inverse 0.658. Not sine. Oh, should have been cos. 658. Then we go trig cos inverse 48.8549. So we're gonna go 48.85, but we're gonna put it at 48.9 degrees. That's angle A. This was our A, this was our B, and this was our C. Was it like that? How did we label it previously?
The top was A. Yeah, A because A was
No, this was a A. Wasn't
yes,
what did
yes,
we
yes, miss.
subtract?
A
13
was
square?
yes, miss. I think A was B was 17 and C was 19.
Okay. Is it?
Yes, miss.
Is that okay? All right, so we calculated angle A. I want you to go ahead and calculate angle B, and then automatically you can find angle C. All right, same procedure that we went through. Do those, send the answers to me. Thank you for staying. Dejano, Marlon, and Peter. 3 males. All right. And I do appreciate your consistent, especially for Peter and Marlon. You're very consistent with class. That's really good. All right. So have yourself a good night.
Same to you.
And I hope to see the answers for these as soon as possible. All right. Bye-bye.